Good evening and welcome to Loudoun County Public Library's 2021 RhymeOn Awards Ceremony. My name is Susan Van Epps and I'm the Division Manager for Programming and Community Engagement at the library. I'd like to start tonight's awards program with a quote that recognizes the potential of poetry in our lives, particularly in light of the struggles of the last year. For poems are not words, after all, but fires for the cold, ropes let down to the lost, something as necessary as bread in the pockets of the hungry. So yes, I love this quote for its recognition of the role of poetry during difficult times. If you haven't heard of her, Mary Oliver's well-known poetry often spoke about relishing moments and finding beauty in the simplest parts of the natural world. And now, without further delay, I'd like to welcome my co-host who will be reading the winning poems in each category, Ernest Solar. Ernest wears many hats. He's a great friend of the Loudoun County Public Library, an associate professor in the School of Education at Mount St. Mary's University, a frequent presenter for the library system on topics including writing and mindfulness, and a professional published author. Welcome, Ernest.
Hey, Susan, thank you for having me. This is an exciting opportunity.
Thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it. And now, Ernest, I know that you are the author of many published works, including peer-reviewed journal articles and many fictional books and short stories. So I've put a few of your most recent works up here on the screen, just to highlight. There's The Well House, which was called a really good short story with an interesting twist that makes you think twice about paranormal activities. And then The Spirit of Sasquatch, which is called a tantalizing trek into the mysterious realm of the legendary and elusive Bigfoot. But since I saw you last, you have contributed a short story to the new book. Your short story is entitled The Ritual, and the book is The First Stain, an inked in gray anthology. So I'm wondering, as a published author and as someone who has expertise both in writing and in helping other people learn to write, is there anything you'd like to tell us about these works? And is there any advice you would give some of our aspiring poets and writers who might be watching tonight?
Sure. I'm humbled by the quotes that you read about my books. I typically don't read my reviews, so it's always interesting to hear someone else read some of the reviews. So that was fascinating. Thank you. So when it comes to advice for writers, I think the most important piece of advice would be to write every day. To make writing a part of your lifestyle, make it a habit, something that's part of your routine, something along the lines of if you're going to walk every day or go to the gym every day, you make it a routine, you make it a habit. And to be a successful writer, I think it has to go along those same lines where you have a certain time of day or ritual to sit down and write. And you do this every single day so that you can kind of make your word count. Which my next piece of advice would be setting a word count for yourself. So trying to write 250 or 500 or 1,000 words a day and striving towards that word count. And if you do this daily, then this helps you actually finish what you write. I think one of the things that writers struggle with is not finishing their stories. I know for me, if I don't finish the story, those characters are still playing in my head. So it's vitally important for me to get those stories out. And so making writing a routine and having a goal of a word count helps finish those stories. I think those are probably the two best pieces of advice that I could think of is to make writing a daily routine and to have a word count goal that you try to strive for each day.
Well, thank you so much, Ernest. Those are great pieces of advice, and I think I've actually heard you share those with some audiences in the past, and I thought they were really good points. I shared them with an aspiring author that I know, because I know he worries so much about what he writes being perfect every time. And I tell him it's not so much about being perfect, it's about setting that routine down. And I learned that from you. So thank you for sharing it tonight.
If I could throw one more piece of advice out there real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, it's never about being perfect. As a writer, a lot of people worry about writing the perfect sentence or writing the perfect words. That's why we have an editor. That's why we hire someone to help us, or a friend to kind of help us along the way. But it's important to get your thoughts down, get that story out on paper, the poetry out on paper, the rhymes out on paper. And when you go back and edit, never delete anything that you've written because that's your voice. So just cut and paste into another Word document, save it for another day. But yeah, I mean, it's just, get it down on paper or get it down on a keyboard, whichever way you tend to write. So
I love that. Thank you so much for adding that in.
sure.
And just to let everybody know, I'll have the link for how you can find out more about Ernest's books a little bit later. Now we are going to move on to the awards themselves. Just to let everybody know, this year we had almost 60 poems entered into the contest, and each poem was judged by a panel of Loudoun County Public Library staff using a set of criteria which included form, word usage, poetic technique and literary devices, language conventions, and overall style. And lastly, before we announce the winners, I want to send a special thank you to the Loudoun Library Foundation for their sponsorship of the RhymeOn prizes each year. Each winner in the 4 categories will receive a check for $65, and each runner-up will receive a check for $25 from the foundation by mail later this month, so be on the lookout for that. And now our first category, free verse. Free verse poems feature non-metrical, non-rhyming lines that closely follow the natural rhythms of speech. And the runner-up in the free verse category is Mary Mitchell for her poem, Windows. Congratulations, Mary. And the winner in the free verse category is Sarah Insminger for Morning Light.
Congratulations, Sarah. I feel honored to read your poem this afternoon. Morning light, silver light slips from the clouds, bare trees fill the woods, dancing gracefully in the light, calling me home. Quickly moving in the cold air, past the meadow grasses sway, the path winds forward, the wind slowly rises onward, a warm hearth waits. Tiny wisps of fog linger in the air, sunlight slides between the silver lights, the dancing trees, brings the promise of a new day. Silver light slips out of sight, giving way to the daylight dawning, anticipation in every step forward along the winding path home.
Thank you, Ernest. That was wonderful. Congratulations again, Sarah. Okay, and now shifting gears, we're going to move on to the funniest category. Looking at the runner-up in the funniest poem category, the runner-up is Janice Walker for To My Garden Pests. And the winner in the funniest poem category is Mary Claire Young for Sonnet 17, To the French Fry.
Congratulations, Mary. Sonnet 17, To the French Fry. Though steadfast love by scarce, your love is not. For though you vary in your shape and size, your golden form so lovely never dies. And one can trust you're almost always hot, though good men can be rather hard to find, you never are. When days run long and rough, 1,000 embraces of yours are quite enough to gorge through grief and leave my greens behind. You never say a word, you simply wait to come over wall and chink to my lap here, with a door like your Frenchkin fond of wine, and like the arachnids eaten by their mate. So are you, my love, my precious dear, oh Fry, forgiven me, ever mine.
Congratulations, Mary Claire. That was great. And now on to the Loudoun category. By the way, if you don't recognize this photo, this is a photo that to me represented Loudoun. The bench features a sculpture of Stanley Calkins, who was an icon in downtown Leesburg for many decades. And when he passed away, this sculpture was created in his honor. So now moving on to the Loudoun category, the runner-up is Gregory Lallier for Loudoun Living History. Congratulations, Gregory. And the winner in the Loudoun category is Martin P. Bromser-Cloden for Silent Century.
Congratulations, Martin. Silent Century. An ancient tree that stands alone high upon the bank of a gravel road became a beacon for my life, listening tactily to all my strife. I would walk the winding way, not far from the safety of my abode, lingering near the silent century, wondering how it knew about my life. Quiet majesty absorbed my fears, yet never telling and never would. Places such as this twisty way are few and far between these hectic days. Faster, bigger, smarter is all the rage. Yet lost within this mantra is the need for simple pleasures and the knowledge that life lies beyond a technological haze. This magic land is divided, half the internet, yet bucolic gem, together they succeed. For the tree stands tranquil on that lane, locking memories away within its wood.
Thank you, Ernest, and congratulations again, Martin. And now on to our final category, love poems. What is a poetry contest without love poems after all? So the runner-up in the love poem category is Linda J. Nance for Resuscitated Heart. Congratulations, Linda. And our final award, again in the love category, the winner is Conrad Geller for Evening Song.
Congratulations, Conrad. Evening Song. I'll smooth the pillows so that you can sleep. All we have is now. There is no scheme. Oblivion is sure, is near, is deep. Trust me to batten to the watch I keep, to drink the coffee black without the cream and smooth the pillow so that you can sleep. We do not need to note what shadows creep toward morning with its sun's harsh, lidless beam. Just take oblivion as sure and deep. Long summer gone, this is the time to reap our only harvest of the twilight's gleam. I'll smooth the pillow so that you can sleep. Past the races quickly, like the sweep of tides on lonely beaches in a dream. So take oblivion, however deep. I know the cost of love is never cheap. The note comes due which, hoping to redeem, I'll smooth the pillow so that you can sleep and take oblivion, not broad but deep.
Thank you so much, Ernest. Thank you for doing such a wonderful job reading all of those. And thank you now to everyone who submitted a poem this year. Do a little round of applause for everyone. And I want to let you know that the anthology of all the poems that were submitted for this year's contest will be online today at library.loudoun.gov/RhymeOn. And again, the top finishers will receive their prizes in the mail during the month of June. Also, if any of your friends or family missed today's program, they can catch it on YouTube. Just look for our Loudoun County Public Library online programs YouTube channel. You can definitely learn more about Ernest's books on his Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/author Ernest Solar. And by all means, please do check out some programs we have coming up with Ernest later this summer. They will focus on writing, so catch those. And check out any of our dozens of e-resources, poetry books, e-streaming movies, and other materials available, all from our website at library.loudoun.gov. So on behalf of the library, thank you very much, Ernest. Congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you to everyone who watched tonight, and good night.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.